two stones of masses m and 2m are whirled in horizontal circles. Okay, there are two stones, one has mass m, okay, the other one has mass 2m, okay, the other one has mass 2m, right, and the heavier one in radius r by 2, the heavier one revolves in a circle of radius r by 2, okay, the radius of this circle is r by 2 here, and the lighter one in radius r, no problem. The tangential speed of the lighter stone is n times the value of heavier stone. Okay, let us assume that heavier stone has a velocity v. Let us assume that heavier stone has a velocity v and the lighter stone has a velocity, according to the question, it is n times of v, right? When they experience the same centripetal forces, what is the value of n? It is very easy question, dear students. We are going to equate the value of centripetal forces for both of them, right? So centripetal force for the first one is m n v square by r. For the second one is going to be 2m, definitely v square divided by r by 2. So this becomes m n square v square by r. This is going to be 4m v square by r. So we have got the answer here, and definitely it is m gets cancelled, v square gets cancelled, r gets cancelled. So n square is equal to 4. We get the value of n as 2, right, dear students? So value of n is 2. Fourth option is definitely correct, right? One end of a string of length L is connected to a particle of mass m, right? One end of the string is connected to a particle of mass m and the other to a small peg on a smooth horizontal table. If the particle moves in a circle with speed v, right? The particle is moving in a circle with speed v, right? Okay. If the particle moves in a circle with speed v, the net force on the particle directed towards the center is c. See, obviously the net force towards the center is only the tension in the string. Either it is the tension in the string or it is the centripetal force. It cannot be both, right? Tension is providing the net centripetal force. So the only force acting is the tension, and tension is providing the centripetal force, right, dear students? I hope this is clear to everyone.
A block of mass m1 rests on a horizontal table. एक ब्लॉक है जिसका मास m है, horizontal table पर रेस्ट कर रहा है. A light string connect it passes over the frictionless pulley at the edge of the table. तो पहले तो आपको ये दिखना चाहिए कि क्या है ये डायग्राम. यहाँ पे एक रखा हुआ है मास, यहाँ पे एक पुली है, यहाँ से ये रस्सी ऐसे आ रही है. ठीक, एक ब्लॉक यहाँ पे भी लटका हुआ है. लेट्स से ये रस्सी यहाँ से इस तरह से आ रही है. अब क्या पूछ रहा है? द कोफिशिएंट ऑफ काइनेटिक फ्रिक्शन बिटवीन ब्लॉक एंड द टेबल इज म्यू के. यहाँ का कोफिशिएंट ऑफ काइनेटिक फ्रिक्शन दे दिया है म्यू के, टेबल एंड द ब्लॉक ए. दिस इज ब्लॉक ए, ब्लॉक बी. तो हमसे पूछा है कि block of m2 is suspended, the coefficient between this is when the block is sliding on the table, then the tension in the string. ये जो ब्लॉक ए है ये स्लाइड कर रहा है, हमें टेंशन बतानी है. तो स्लाइड करने का मतलब क्या हुआ? इसके ऊपर लग रहा होगा पीछे फ्रिक्शन फोर्स, और वो आप क्या लिखोगे? म्यू इंटू के इंटू इसका मास m1g. इसका नीचे वेट लग रहा होगा m2g, ऊपर लग रही है टेंशन T और इस पे लग रही है इधर टेंशन T. तो सबसे पहले एक्सेलरेशन लिख देता हूं सिस्टम के ऊपर. हमने एक्सेलरेशन लिखना सीखा है. ड्राइविंग फोर्स m2g और अपोजिंग फ्रिक्शन. सो एक्सेलरेशन सीधा आ जाएगा ड्राइविंग फोर्स m2g माइनस म्यू के m1g अपॉन टोटल मास m1 प्लस m2. ये तो एक ही बार में आ गया, राइट? अब टेंशन लिखनी है, तो अब किसी भी एक पे फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम बना के टेंशन लिख दो. जैसे मान लो अगर मैं यहाँ से लिख दूँ टेंशन इस वाले ब्लॉक पे, इसका एक्सेलरेशन तो नीचे आ रहा था, तो क्या लिखूंगा m2g माइनस t विल बी इक्वल टू m2a, तो ये हो जाएगा m2 टाइम्स g माइनस a विल बी इक्वल टू t। अब a की वैल्यू यहाँ से डाल दो, a की वैल्यू यहाँ से डाल दो, तो t की वैल्यू आपकी निकल के आएगी। अब ये आपको तुरंत 1 मिनट में करना है एग्जाम में, मैं तो इसलिए स्लोली कर रहा हूँ कि आपको एक एक स्टेप समझ में आए, राइट। एग्जाम में आपने खट 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 सीधा उधर हो जाएगा m2 माइनस m2 माइनस म्यू के m1 इंटू जी अपॉन m1 प्लस m2, राइट। जी कॉमन लेकर के आप इधर कर लोगे तो आई गेस आपका आ जाएगा। मेरे ख्याल से m2 कट जाएगा, वो 1 माइनस म्यू के टाइम्स m1 बचेगा, तो आई गेस थर्ड ऑप्शन। So let's see this question. We have given a diagram as shown in figure. We have to find the normal reaction force between 2 kg and the 1 kg. So first of all, if you observe carefully, if we talk about the system, 3 forces are acting on it. 2 are shown, 1 is not shown. 1 is basically total mg sin theta. Mg sin theta. Remember here m is total mass because we are considering the system. So if you calculate this, the total mass will be 3 plus 2 plus 1, it will be 6 into 10, and sine 30 will be half. So this will be equal to 30 Newton. So now you have 3 forces, 30 Newton downward, 80 Newton downward and 60 Newton upward. So clearly the acceleration will be upward because 60 will dominate. So if I apply F net equal to m into a on system 1 plus 2 plus 3, we have net force will be in upward direction, that is 60 minus 18 minus 30 will be equal to 6 into a. So a from here will be 2 meter per second square. So this is how we get the acceleration. The value of acceleration is 2 meters per second square. But they are not asking the acceleration. But acceleration is a intermediary which you have to calculate. Now we have to find the normal reaction between the 2 block and the 1 kg. So this 2 block will be applying a normal reaction on the 1 kg block, right? And because of this, 1 kg is also moving upward. So now if we apply the net force equal to mass into acceleration on 1 kg block, clearly you can see on this 1 kg block, the 2 forces are shown. One will be the normal upward due to the 2 kg force. One will be the 18 Newton force which is acting directly on 1 kg. And other will be mg sin theta. M is 1 here. For 1 kg block we are observing. Into g is 10 into 3 into 30 cos sin 30 is half. So which is 5. So we have 3 forces again acting on this 1 kg block. 18 downward and normal upward and 5 downward. So the equation will be F net will be equal to n minus 18 minus 5 will be equal to mass is 1 into A is 2. So clearly n will be equal to, this is a 25 Newton. Now some of you might have a doubt that sir, why have you taken normal as a larger force? Because my dear, the acceleration is upward and only one force which can take it upward is n. Hence n must be the largest. So because of the acceleration of direction, I have subtracted all the forces from n. I have considered n as positive, n as greater. So that is the logic. So in this case, the correct answer will be 1. Very good question.
A football player is moving southward. Okay, he's moving southward. Let me draw the plane. This is east, this is west, this is north, this is south. Football player is moving southward and suddenly turns eastward with the same speed to avoid an opponent. Okay, what was his initial velocity? So his initial velocity was v times east is I cap, north is j cap. So southward was minus j cap. Now he instantly changes his direction to eastward. Okay, so his final velocity would be along east. That means v times I cap. Okay. The force that acts on the player while turning is, you know that force is actually change in momentum divided by time taken. Okay. And change in momentum would be m times final velocity minus initial velocity divided by indeed time taken. So we are getting this value as m times, and what is the final velocity? It is v I cap minus initial velocity, minus becomes plus v j cap divided by time, right? Now this I cap plus j cap will lie in this plane, right? So I cap plus j cap will lie in this plane. That means his direction would be along northeast, right? See, if we would have got v I cap, say minus v j cap, that means along x-axis it is positive and along y-axis it is negative, then the answer would have been southeast, right?